Tonight on WUSA9 News at 6:30, we have another weather impact alert. Thank you for streaming here with us on WUSA9 Plus. I'm Lorenzo Hall. So that alert is sticking around through the weekend because those dangerously cold temperatures just aren't going anywhere. That is making it even more difficult to get rid of all of this frozen snow across our area. So let's get right to the chief, Top Rashut. He is out on the weather terrace at top. When can we see some kind of warm up? We've been looking at this site out there on the terrace all week.
I know, it hasn't really melted at all. I'm standing on top of the crust here. I mean, it is just solid as a rock. And, you know, even the snow on top of the monitor, which gets a little ambient heat, still hasn't melted at all. So it's going to be a minute. And that's why we extended our weather impact alert. So let's talk about that. It goes now through Monday morning. And it is for, life-threatening weather. It really is. It's for dangerously cold lows, temperatures, 0 to 15, wind chills below 0 in the morning. So limit your time outdoors and download the app. You can follow, see how close that snow gets to us tomorrow night. So here are the cold weather alerts. Goes into effect tonight for some reason 8 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock to 11 a.m. and that's for wind chills 0 to 15 below. So that covers essentially the entire metro. So please take care of your pets tonight. Bring them in. Limit your time outdoors. I mean, tomorrow morning we're looking at 0 downtown, but a -6 wind chill up in Hagerstown. By midday, still single digits. All right. By evening, so like 24 hours from now, it still only feels like it's 9 in D.C. And then look what happens. By Sunday morning, as the storm departs, winds kick up a bit. 5 below in D.C., 5 below wind chill in La Plata. Whoa, double digits, 11 below in Frederick. I mean, that's just dangerous. Even by lunchtime on Sunday, still feels like it's 2 below in Gaithersburg, 3 below in Frederick, and only 0 downtown. And 6 o'clock, single digits, maybe some low teens in Manassas and down toward La Plata, but still, that's tough. And then Monday morning, kids are trying to go back to school. Feels like it's anywhere from like 1 below, 2 below in Hagerstown to about 9 above in Fredericksburg. And by noon on Monday, it's still not great. Feels like it's 12 in D.C., but still single digits in Gaithersburg and Frederick and Hagerstown. Wow. We will come back. We will talk about our streak. Are we going to break a streak for being 32 degrees or below for a number of days? We'll talk about that. And a little bit of snow on the horizon for the middle part of next week. We'll explain.
For all of that. Okay, thank you, Top. So, now that people are driving again, you've probably seen a few cars with ice and snow on them, right? We know this could be dangerous for others on the road if it flies off. So now Maryland lawmakers, they want to fine you for not cleaning off your vehicles. Our Matt Gregory explains how the new bill would work.
Now it'll start with small fines and then escalate from there. All week we've seen vehicles without ice or snow cleared off the top, and then at high speeds we've seen that ice or snow lift off and shatter in front of other vehicles driving. And several times this week it's caused accidents as the ice has shattered the windshields of vehicles, injuring drivers, including an Anne Arundel County deputy. And all of that has just led to an increased awareness about how important lawmakers feel this bill is. This week, snow and ice wreaked havoc across the region on streets, sidewalks, and car tops. Look, today while driving, we saw chunks of ice flying off cars, trucks, and semis. We didn't even have to go looking for it. Chopper picked up a few semis driving with ice-covered tops throughout the week, and a few times it caused accidents. Ice flew off vehicle tops and smashed windshields in Harford and Anne Arundel counties, injuring drivers, including an Anne Arundel County deputy. Charles County Delegate Edith Patterson says weeks ago she sponsored a bill to make it illegal to drive with snow and ice on the top of your vehicle. The penalties would be enforced if the ice from your car causes an accident.
For a first offense, the fine is only $25. For a second offense, it doubles to $50. For a third offense, $100, and for a fourth offense, a fine of $200. These are very low fines, but it is an attempt.
Basically, the law asks that you clear your vehicle roof of snow or ice before driving. Delegate Patterson says this week's weather has accelerated the support behind it.
There were people who said, oh, I don't think this is necessary, or I don't want to remove snow or ice from my car. Now I'm getting inquiries and from some colleagues across the aisle who said to me, I want to sign on.
Now again, this is just a bill, it's not a law yet, but we will continue to follow this and all other Maryland General Assembly legislation throughout the season as well as this winter weather. In the Weather Explorer, I'm Matt Gregory, WUSA9.
All right, let's talk about the rules in Virginia now as we take a look at this car right here. In the Commonwealth, you can be fined $250 if you don't clear snow from your windshield. And if snow or ice breaks loose from your roof and damages another car like this one here, you can be sued. Prince William County Police shared this picture right here. They said flying ice caused this damage you're looking at. Thankfully, that driver was not hurt. So in the last 20 minutes, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser announced 5 pop-up salt distribution locations. Here they are right here on your screen. You can see Deanwood Rec, Greenleaf Rec, the Kennedy Rec, Turkey Thicket, and Wilson Aquatic. You can stop by during 3 different time slots this weekend. You have 9 to 11 a.m., 12 to 2 p.m., and 3 to 5 p.m. Just make sure you bring something to put that salt in, and then you should be good to go. We have this on our website, by the way, WUSA9.com. Well, we are now just hours away from a partial government shutdown, and a standoff over Homeland Security funding is holding up a possible deal. Senate Democrats reached an agreement with President Trump yesterday to separate DHS funding from the rest of the spending measures and fund the agency for 2 weeks. They threatened to vote against the package after federal immigration agents killed 2 people in Minneapolis. But the compromise hit a snag when Republican Lindsey Graham refused to move ahead with the vote.
The clock is ticking, the nation is waiting, and the abuses of ICE must come to an end.
Hold the people accountable in ICE who may have broken the law, but stand up for those in the field trying to protect America.
So lawmakers are facing a midnight deadline to avoid a shutdown. Even if the measure does clear the Senate before then, by the way, it still needs to be passed by the House. And tonight, our Larry Miller will bring you up to speed, bring you a special report rather on the possible government shutdown. He's talking with analysts and experts about what this shutdown would look like and the impact it could have on our area on the heels of the longest shutdown ever. You can watch that special report streaming here on WUSA9 Plus right after the news at 11. Well, we are following some new developments out of Minneapolis tonight. Former CNN journalist Don Lemon is now facing federal civil rights criminal charges in connection with the protest there. Ian Lee is in Minneapolis with details on that, plus a new investigation into Alex Preddy's death.
Former CNN anchor Don Lemon was arrested Thursday night in Los Angeles. The Justice Department claims Lemon was part of this protest that disrupted a church service in St. Paul, Minnesota. The now independent journalist has said he was only covering the event.
Prosecutors have to show probable cause that there was an actual agreement to interfere with protected rights.
Also at the DOJ, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says the Civil Rights Division is investigating the fatal shooting of Alex Preddy.
We're looking at everything that would shed light on what happened that day and in the days and weeks leading up to what happened.
Friday, demonstrators took part in a nationwide strike protesting the Trump administration's immigration policies. Some stores here in Minneapolis participated last week, but say they're struggling to survive because the presence of ICE is keeping customers away.
I already did it once. I cannot afford it another day. This has been my worst nightmare.
There are ongoing protests outside the Whipple Federal Building. Bruce Springsteen made a surprise appearance at a benefit concert in Minneapolis, singing his new protest song, Streets of Minneapolis.
2 dead left to die on snow-filled streets, Alex Preddy and Renee Good.
Proceeds are going to the families of Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Ian Lee, CBS News, Minneapolis.
The Hennepin County Attorney's Office is still deciding whether to file state charges against the officers involved in the deaths of Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Blanche confirmed again there is no civil rights investigation into Good's death. Well, new tonight, the Justice Department has released a massive amount of material connected to Jeffrey Epstein. The DOJ missed a December deadline to turn over all of the classified documents. Here is Erica Brown with the latest from Capitol Hill.
The Department of Justice announced Friday the release of more than 3 million pages of documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation.
Today's release marks the end of a very comprehensive document identification and review process to ensure transparency to the American people.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said the release includes more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images connected to the convicted sex offender and his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell.
We did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody. I mean, I think that there's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents.
He noted there are extensive redactions to protect victims' identities. Previous Epstein document releases have highlighted the late financier's connections to many high-profile men, including former President Bill Clinton and President Trump, who has called the Epstein investigation a hoax.
What this whole thing is with Epstein is a way of trying to deflect from the tremendous success that the Republican Party has.
The Justice Department says it has to submit a final report to Congress providing the justifications for the redactions before the matter is complete. But critics on Capitol Hill say the investigation is far from over. Democrat Robert Garcia, the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee, released a statement slamming the DOJ for releasing only about 50% of the material it collected, saying, quote, "We are demanding the names of Epstein's co-conspirators and the men and pedophiles who abused women and girls." He also promised a thorough review of the newly released material. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Now, President Trump says he is nominating Kevin Warsh to replace Jerome Powell as Federal Reserve Chair. He made the announcement on social media today. Now, Warsh is a former inflation hawk who now favors lower interest rates, according to a number of public statements he's made in recent months. He's also called for overhauling the central bank's workforce. The Senate Banking Committee will consider Warsh's nomination through a public hearing. After that, the Senate chamber will vote on his confirmation. Powell's term, by the way, ends in May. New tonight, the Maryland man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO will not face the death penalty if he is convicted. A judge threw out the federal murder charge against Luigi Mangione today. Now, Mangione still faces a maximum sentence of life in prison without parole on 2 other charges. This comes after a man was arrested yesterday for allegedly trying to break Mangione out of jail. Elaine Keano has that story.
Police say they foiled a plot to break Luigi Mangione out of a federal jail in New York City. 36-year-old Mark Anderson of Minnesota has been charged for allegedly impersonating a federal officer. According to court documents, on Wednesday night, Anderson approached uniformed officers in the lobby of the jail, claiming he was an FBI agent in possession of paperwork signed by a judge, authorizing the release of a specific inmate. A federal law enforcement source tells CBS News that inmate was Mangione. When asked for federal credentials, police say Anderson showed officers his Minnesota driver's license and claimed he was in possession of weapons, which turned out to be this large barbecue fork and round steel blade.
The fact that this individual went to such great lengths, I think, does speak to sort of this larger movement behind Mangione.
Mangione has attracted a loyal following, with many gathering outside the courthouse before his hearings. Mangione is accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. He was arrested in December of 2024 at a Pennsylvania McDonald's and has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
We're waiting on really the 2 most critical pieces of information. 1, whether or not the feds can continue to pursue the death penalty, and 2, whether or not that evidence that was obtained on Luigi Mangione's person and in his backpack when he was arrested initially can come into play in this trial.
Sources say there's no indication Mangione knew of plans to break him out of jail. For now, jury selection is set for September 8th. Elaine Quijano, CBS News, New York.
We have an update for you tonight. A federal judge has denied a request to release Brian Cole Jr. in January in that January 6th pipe bomb case. The court ruled that the defense failed to overcome the government's argument that Cole possesses a danger to the community or poses as a danger to the community. He'll remain in custody as that case continues. His next court appearance will be on February 27th. Still ahead here tonight at 6:30, a special snowy edition of The Heart of It. See how one family turned their backyard into a frozen field of dreams. Next. The stage is set for this weekend's Grammy Awards. The big show brings together some of the world's hottest performers and best creators, and you can watch it all right here on WUSA9. Gwen Baumgartner gives us a look behind the scenes.
A crescendo of excitement ahead of the 68th Annual Grammy Awards, orchestrated by the Recording Academy's CEO, Harvey Mason Jr.
Come hang out with us, party, enjoy some music, dance in your living room. It's going to be a big, big, big show.
The night brings the best of pop, Latin, country, jazz, and rap together under one roof.
And the countdown is on to music's biggest night, with crews working around the clock to transform downtown LA's Crypto.com arena into something unforgettable.
That means creating a spectacular show for viewers, as well as the artists, with the Grammy's executive producers still finalizing the seating chart.
And you sort of go, well, who should sit with who, and how do we make this a really fun night for everybody? And then we need to do some sort of deep research, who's got beef with who, so we're sitting on the other end of them. Luckily, that doesn't happen too much.
Arguably, the industry's biggest beef remains between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Lamar arrived Sunday with 9 nominations for his album GNX. Organizers expect the night to hit a high note when all Best New Artist nominees perform back-to-back. The lineup includes newcomer Somber.
Being nominated for a Grammy, it's a beautiful thing that we have that, where a community of musicians that have impacted culture can all come together. It makes me feel like I'm a part of something and like I've been recognized.
The awards will include 2 new categories, Best Album Cover and Best Traditional Country Album. This will be Trevor Noah's 6th and final year as host. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Again, you can watch the Grammys right here on WUSA9. The big show starts Sunday night at 8 o'clock. And after the Grammys, make sure you stay tuned for WUSA9 News at 11. We'll have a special report on federal retirees concerned about the status of their retirement benefits. They say they still have not received their checks months after leaving the federal workforce. It's been especially frustrating for USAID retirees who can't get information because their agency no longer exists.
It has been very stressful. Paying what I can at a minimum. I've got to keep my lights on. I got to keep a roof over my head. I got to, put food in the house. I'm doing things. I'm volunteering because I have to do something to keep my mind occupied. I can't just sit around, and every time, you go and you look online, it stresses you out even more. So what I'm doing is I'm working with different organizations that are connected to my family to keep my mind occupied and try to keep myself upbeat, just to keep from staying out of my head and becoming depressed.
Now, the IRS also has thousands of retirees caught in a months-long backlog. Our Larry Miller investigates Sunday at 11, again, right after the Grammys.
This WUSA9 Weather Impact Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Good weekend to stay inside and watch the Grammys because it's going to be freezing again.
Yeah, I mean, only 21 today for high. It was 1 at my house this morning.
Just 1?
Just 1.
And we know you wanted that to be a negative.
I did. I want to be 1 below.
Oh,
is that wrong? Is that so wrong?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Oh,
what
why
do you mean?
not? That way you can sit back, in the summer and go, I remember it was 1 below at my house.
Back in the day.
All right, so there's where the snow is now, down into East Tennessee, Tennessee Valley, Knoxville, and also into southwestern Virginia. By midnight tonight, it begins to overspread. The Piedmont of North Carolina becomes heavy by tomorrow morning through North and South Carolina. And again, there's the storm. It's trying to work its way a little further north. We're going to see maybe a skiff of snow in extreme southern Maryland. Northern Neck is probably the best chance around Reedville. By 6:30 tomorrow evening, this has a little bit of snow north up into St. Mary's County. Probably not quite that far north. And then by midnight, again, a little bit of snow, St. Mary's County, and then boom, it's gone. And then as it pulls away from shore, we're going to see winds pick up again. And there are gale warnings and also small craft advisories in effect for the Bay and Tidal Potomac on Sunday. We'll go to Wednesday. This little system looked a little more promising yesterday. It never looked big. It's not a kind of nor'easter or anything. That's at 6 o'clock Wednesday morning. We still are going to keep the chance of a couple of flurries or patch of light snow in Wednesday evening, but right now it looks like it's going south. Check back at 11. We'll see if the new run keeps that, but it's only Friday here. We'll be following this all week. Then we get into, say, Friday. Now we've got another system coming through the Ohio Valley. Looks like another Arctic front, and that will give us some showers, especially in the mountains, but maybe even some snow and rain showers as we get into Friday night as the Arctic air returns. Looks like next Saturday and Sunday, pretty cold too. So look at this. you know Arctic air is in place when you have winter storm warnings all the way down eastern half of Georgia and all the way to coastal North and South Carolina and their whole state, okay? We have some winter weather advisories up across the Delmarva down into around Newland and Reedville, but that is it for us. So our big story continues to be cold. I mean, it really is. That's why we extended our weather impact alert. So it starts going into effect here shortly, 8 o'clock, goes to 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, and that is for wind chills 0 to 15 below. Yeah. So early tomorrow morning, 0 wind chill downtown, 8 below in Frederick. By lunchtime, everybody feels, this is the temperature you feel, like it's in the single digits. By this time tomorrow evening, single digits. Okay, maybe 10 in La Plata. Sunday morning, colder because winds are stronger. So now it's 9 below in Gaithersburg, 5 below in D.C., 5 below in La Plata, and 8 below in Hagerstown. And then by lunchtime, if you're south of town, not much above 0. If you're north of town, a little bit below 0. Sunday's going to be a tough day. By evening, single digits to around 10. And then by Monday morning, not quite as cold, but you know, a lot of kids going back to school Monday. 1 below in Frederick, 2 below in Hagerstown. And then by lunchtime, maybe it feels like 12 downtown, maybe 19 in Fredericksburg, and then 5:30 feels like it's in the 20s across the board. So wind gusts. This is tomorrow night. Winds gusting. Each number is a wind gust, snapshot in time, anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour. And then by Sunday morning, you see all the big winds offshore here, 30, 40 mile per hour winds over the ocean resorts, but even in metro, you know, 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts. And then by midday, winds are still gusting 25 to 30. By evening, still gusting 25 to 30 with higher gusts. So get ready for a blustery Sunday. Driving tips. This is really important next week, too. You need shades, okay? Keep your windshield wiper fluid topped off. Keep your headlights clean. If you get gas, just wash your headlights and taillights. And watch for runners and walkers on the road. And I really feel because we're going to get a little bit warmer next week, we're going to see some melting and then refreezing and have even kind of more problems on the sidewalks, driveways, and some side roads. So 24 tomorrow, storm south, 27 on Sunday, 37. We'll have that first half of the day weather impact alert for the extreme cold. Tuesday, okay, upper 30s, but 23 at night, upper 30s on Wednesday, maybe some light snow or flurries Wednesday into Thursday. Again, even though we get above freezing, we're still in the 20s downtown, which means teens in the burbs. Back to the upper 30s next Friday. Again, so it's kind of nice. We're getting above freezing, but now this is going to start to melt, and you're going to see some refreezing across driveways and sidewalks and a lot of black ice. So I did a little video on that to get ready.
Now, tonight, a Maryland father is keeping his kids entertained in the cold while also making a positive impact in his community. Here at WUSA9, we know you could use some hope in your headlines, and that's why our Sean Martinelli heads to Anne Arundel County to get to the heart of it.
Here in the community of Arnold, Maryland.
I'm not sure how he did it.
School's out means neighbors are out.
I was kind of amazed.
Amazed at how Justin Ruff turns ice into something nice.
This is clearly the most fun neighborhood in all of Anne Arundel County. I think that's your top line story.
I still got it. That story began when this father of 3 had a hunch and gave his wife Christine a hint.
I knew something was up Christmas morning when a pair of kids' skates appeared under the tree that I knew nothing about. So we were all surprised by that. So I knew it was cooking.
I played hockey my whole life. I've always dreamed about having an ice rink in my backyard.
Justin had seen this elsewhere.
But they were all from places like Minnesota, North Dakota, Canada. Never did I dream Annapolis, Maryland.
Move over, Minnesota. This is Maryland's time to freeze.
He's a roofer, and he's got all the equipment and the know-how, plus a rabbit hole of YouTube videos guiding him along the way.
It's fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin just wanted to teach his daughters to skate.
Yeah, what better than teach them in the backyard?
But when other neighbors got word,
it's pretty magical.
The Ruffs rink became the neighborhood's rink.
I think everyone's going to be ordering skates after this.
What's it like to see this in someone's backyard?
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah?
I've never seen something like this.
We're very lucky as, you know, just the community here to have someone that spent the time to build this.
Yeah.
It's just really special.
March, march, march!
And while the kids had their fun, the parents had theirs.
So definitely a social atmosphere.
Proof you can still find community in this cold.
We're making the best of the weather that we have right now.
I think anything